Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Good people see hostility rising daily.
Because this was raised, and I got to hit this quick, and I know we're just about out of time, but homosexuality in the church, black women being empowered to believe that the black man is the problem, I would tend to agree that in some Christian churches, well, in a lot of Christian churches, the problem is that it's majority black female. We're talking about the black church here. The majority of the congregation, the majority of the membership are black females, headed by this single pastor, or it could be a pastor that's married. But the problem is they don't have enough role models in those churches, meaning black men that are strong. So what happens in a lot of Christian churches is a lot of strong black women with weak jelly-back men. So therefore, a lot of my black brothers out in the street say, well, the Christian church, that don't even appeal to me. All right?
Brother said, sir, can you please elaborate?
Boy, I kind of wish you didn't pick me. Because I don't like to offend people. I often do. And I have to say, the number one reason we got murder, we got rape, we got child molestation, we got divorce, we got homosexuality, lesbianism, is because of the Christian church. The culture in the Christian church is why we have no morals. That is where we go to learn morals, and we don't learn morals. And the reason there are so many brothers not in that church, because the Christian church does have a culture of making women masculine against men. And it is not just because it's women in there. It is what's being taught in there. And that divorce rate is high in that church because what is being taught is vanity to black women. Every black person in America has heard the term pimps in the pulpit. And they done heard that term because what is going on in that pulpit? There's a black man sitting up there telling black women what they want to hear and taking their money and getting rich off of those women, and them brothers is teaching those women to be monsters. And it is the reason that black women go home and treat their husbands terribly, their children terribly, become cold as they can be. And this is not in some churches. This is in all the churches, just about. Just about. And here's what's so evil about it. What's so evil about it is that the men that's supposed to be over these churches do not charge themselves for the failure of black people. Like it's their watch. They run the black community. They are the ministers that become the politicians. The buck stops with Jesse Jackson, with Eddie Long, with T.D. Jakes, with every minister in every church, with every imam in every mosque. That's where the buck stops. And guess what? You can't pass the buck and say it's the Holy Spirit. Or somebody didn't get it or didn't grasp it. You can't do that. The church is going to have to be changed. Plain and simple. Or wiped out is risk. And let's not be ignorant here. I mean, once again, that's why I don't like to speak so clearly about it. Who was Christ's enemy? Since we're talking about Christ, who was his enemy? It was the religious leadership. And guess what? He knew that same religious leadership that was in the temple of Solomon, that was burning the incense, that was praying to God, that had the high priest, was the evilest entity on the face of the earth. And guess what? They're the ones that stoned Stephen in Acts the 6th chapter. Them same religious leaders. And until we get ready to face the truth about black leadership and black Christian leadership, we will continue to destroy the black community. The Christian church, with all the evil that goes on in there, never charge themselves Never say, we've misled these people. Martin Luther King had us march in the 60s to join with America for civil rights and wiped out all the businesses we had. We went to every white business. He said, we obeyed Martin Luther King. Marched on Washington, said we shall overcome, fought for civil rights, signed the bill with Kennedy and them, and guess what? Lost every black business we had. Now we sitting up in church, and still, white people don't go to our church. We act like we not racist when white people don't go to our church. Nobody wants to say the truth. Nobody charges Christians or the Christian ministers for the destruction in the ghetto. You got guns shooting in the ghetto, you a minister, it's your fault. According to God, it's your fault. Okay, if it's drugs and AIDS and homosexuality, and you got homosexuals up on in your choir talking about Jesus loved them, that's gonna be required on your blood. And let me tell you something. It's why Christ came up against them. Out of everybody else, he didn't come up against the Romans to the end. He didn't come up against none of the people, but he came up against them religious leaders and he said it. He said, you through your traditions make men not follow what the Lord said. In other words, you come up with excuses when these ministers need to be held accountable. And every black man that got a Christian woman that divorces him or separates him, he should be on the doorstep of that preacher charging him. Because guess what? If one of my officers leave his wife and she show up on my doorstep, I count it my fault. And I'm going to see that man on why he went against the Lord to break these rules. But this ain't going on in the Christian church. And the Christian church got the lion's share, and the Muslim mosque. I'm not putting it just on them. Got the lion's share of the people following. This is wrong, man. This is wrong. And we better really, once again, the manuals say, if you're going to really serve Christ, you better be enemy to who his enemy is and friend to who his friend is. And if you're going to really serve Christ, then guess what? The lowest man on the totem pole is the Christian minister. You lowest on the bottom. You the cat that he was pissed off the most with. But we walk around like our Christian ministers are nigh unto God.
Yes, them have the heart of a pagan. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous trod in the countenance of the Almighty One. Them have the heart of demons. The children have the heart of a lion, I know. Evil a move with Satan. Righteous walk in the countenance of the Almighty One. Poor people see hostility rising daily. Ignorant multiply brutality. I see that they run gone left mommy. Fi struggle the hard road with 5 beginning. Our I see baby having baby. Nothing that happen no do.